Well, hello traders and investors, I'm LA Little and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets. We're doing it from a neoclassical perspective. We're using supply and demand on the charts. We're using trend. Qualified trend as explained in my model, the neoclassical model. I do a show 4 times a week, every Monday through Thursday, broadcast at 4:10 o'clock Eastern Time, archived on YouTube and under the channel LA Little. If you haven't subscribed and you want to, just reach up in the right hand corner and do so. Anytime I push public content, you'll get a notification. As far as where I've been, unfortunately, I've had family emergency. I told you about it last week. I did miss last night, got in late, so wasn't able to do a show. But back on schedule now, so hopefully we can keep things going here. The market takes a beating today. I've been talking to subscribers about it. These are the archives. This is today's notes this morning before the market opened. Talked about the range that was in effect. I talked about the issues that we see in the sectors. IYT, XLF, XLI, just keep going down the list, XLV. All of these charts showing you downside danger that was out there. I talked about the bottom line. I talked about the hedges, the commercial hedgers that were out there, and what that looked like. One of the mentors had shared this with us. The real question was, could the XLK, the NDX, hold this thing up? I think the answer is clear tonight. No, it can't. Here's the numbers. NDX down 1.5%, NASDAQ down 1.83%, 1.25% on the S&P. Russell down almost 3%, 2 3/4. Oil gets smacked again. Bonds, the yields go down, and we saw the bonds push higher. Europe, same issue in Europe. We did have some move higher in Asia, but for the most part, folks, market took a beating. Hasn't done that in a while, and what does it mean? One of the things I've been telling subscribers for about a week now, a week and a half, we started selling rallies. We sold into these rallies. We sold into the bounce. We knew that we had buys here. We didn't quite get what we wanted. We actually didn't get that last jut up on those longs that we bought down here on the lows. Made a little bit of money on them, but not nearly as much as we wanted to. We expected this to push to 23.90. I outlined that number for subscribers in both a weekly and a daily broadcast. We got to 23.90.01. It's about as close as you can get to the target. And then what do? We start to sell off. I talked about ABCD structures. I also talked about the way this market would probably come down, and it would be this sort of a thing. The reason for it, MTTFs were extended. We knew they were. Matter of fact, we actually still have the numbers, haven't updated them yet. 81% on the S&P. That's nosebleed, folks. Usually when you see that on MTTF, that's a cumulative MTTF. What that means is like a light bulb. It's going to last so many hours in terms of the market. It's going to last so many cycles. When those cycles are over, expect this thing to reset. And that's exactly what we got. We got a reset. How do you get a reset? You break a swing point low. Algorithmically, these swing point lows are laid out for you. Here they are. You get multiples lined up close together. You get a faster move down when you break them. It's what we saw today. Market took away a month of gains, folks, and it took it away in a few hours. That's the way the market works when it crawls and crawls and it starts to set up a range like we saw today. That's what you have to be aware of. You have to know when those things can happen. You have to be able to trade those things if they happen. And that is exactly what we got today. Where can this thing go? Well, the next stopping point, if it really wants to accelerate here, is the next swing point high, retest, regen. It's a bullish one. It's way down here at 2,300. We're halfway there, right? We came off the top. Top was at 24. Bottom here at 23. If we expand the range to be that, then that's about halfway down. Does it have to go there? No, it doesn't. Is there anything to stop it? Well, not a lot. When you look at this chart, there's just not much in between. These will reset this week, or excuse me, tonight. We'll see some support zones come in, but they're going to be down in that 2,300 area. If we pull up a weekly chart, look at how that one's starting to shape up. You can see what I'm talking about on the 2300. That's down in this area, right in here. You got this big bar that we just got underneath. That's going to be resistance on the way back. That's 2394 at the high, 2352 at the low. All the consolidations down here in the 2280, 2300 area on a weekly. Are we going to reset that far? Well, let's go a little bit farther here and look at these. NASDAQ. NASDAQ also gets a big bearish reversal. Volume escalates. You take out two swing point lows. Again, lined up together, folks. When you see them that way, you have the opportunity to take them out. And in this particular case, not only was it two, it was three. You took them all out together. One here, one there, and this one over here. All three of them go tonight. You break them all down. And if I get that drawn in right, you break them all down. And that says, hey, you can go lower. Where's the retest regen? It's down here. In other words, we're about halfway there. If we look at the NDX, now the NDX, of course, has been the bullish of the bulls, bearish engulfing, blows away a swing point low. It's going to get a reset just like the others. And finally, the Russell. We've been talking about the Russell as the canary in the coal mine. Well, look at this canary. I think we shot it tonight, and we're down here breaking swing point lows. Now, the Russell is going to tell us something faster probably than the rest, and that is that the Russell is coming after a break of a swing point low on a weekly time frame. That's going to tell us that we got a bigger range that's about to play out if this breaks on a weekly. So that's the thing to watch this week. Where can this one go? You see the marker down here. Again, you're probably halfway there if in fact that's where we're going. Those sectors that I showed you at the beginning of the show, if you go look at some of those tonight, you're going to see some huge numbers to the downside. Here's the XLF. Look at that blow away. Comes into a bullish retest regen after more than 6 bars and gets under it. Again, telling us just how heavy the selling was today. That XLK that I showed you that was trying to hold up, give it up. Back to the swing point lows. XL or IYT, if it's the transports. Now the transports have been the ones leading in terms of bearish sectors, blows away all these 3 swing point lows, and it's underneath the swing point low on the weekly. Healthcare was the other of the juggernauts that had made a nice move up. That one got a spike back up. Actually, I don't think it actually traded that low. I think we got a bad quote here. But this one did trade down tonight. And if we look at the XLY, that was the other one that had been holding higher. XLY gives it up. 3 swing point lows, goes after all of them, breaks 2 so far, and on a weekly doesn't look that bad yet, but is probably going to trade lower as well. There has been a buildup, right, on expectations. Today, some of the gas came out of the helium balloon. How low are we going to trade? Well, tomorrow we'll find out very quickly, because what we should see tomorrow, if this was just a blow-off, blow out some stops, which can happen when you break swing point lows in multiples like we did today, we should see an underback over tomorrow if this is going to stop. If it's not, look for 2 or 3 days to try to take us all the way back to 2300. That's where it sits tonight. That is tonight's show. If you're interested in what we do, if you're interested in what I say and how I say it, and the early warnings I give subscribers, as I did here, and if I pull back even farther, you'll see others warnings where I told them to sell into the strength. We're going to buy it back cheaper. That's the way it works, folks. You don't go straight up. You have to be aware of what the danger is on the downside and try to position yourself to take advantage of it. We were down to 40, I think it was about 40% invested as of this morning, down from a high of 80% invested, and still had gold in that mix. Tonight, we're back to 50. We bought some today. Have yourself a great one. Good night. Take care.